Have you ever heard of the women who became some of the deadliest snipers in history? What drove these young Soviet women to pick up rifles and face the horrors of the Eastern Front during World War II? How did they transform from ordinary citizens into lethal sharpshooters, striking fear into the hearts of Nazi soldiers? The Eastern Front during World War II was a brutal theater of conflict characterized by immense suffering, staggering casualties, and fierce resistance. Amidst this chaos, a remarkable group of Soviet women emerged as some of the most lethal snipers in military history. These women not only challenged the traditional roles assigned to them, but also demonstrated unparalleled bravery and skill, contributing significantly to the Soviet war effort. When Nazi Germany launched Operation Barbarossa in June 1941, the Soviet Union found itself fighting for survival. The surprise invasion was the largest military operation in history, and its scale left the Red Army reeling. Towns and cities fell in rapid succession, and millions of Soviet troops were killed, wounded, or captured within the first few months. Faced with mounting losses and the very real possibility of defeat, the Soviet leadership made an extraordinary decision, one that would forever alter the course of warfare. They opened the doors of combat to women. While Soviet women had already contributed to the war effort as nurses, clerks, and support staff, the need for frontline fighters had become too great to ignore. Among the roles offered to women, sniper duty emerged as a key focus. The reasoning was both strategic and psychological. Soviet military theorists and commanders believed that women possessed natural qualities that made them ideal snipers. Patience, attention to detail, emotional control, and a steady hand, traits often associated with traditional femininity, were now seen as weapons of war. These women were expected not only to shoot with deadly accuracy, but also to withstand isolation, harsh climates, and the constant threat of death, often while lying motionless for hours or even days. To fully utilize this potential, the Soviet government established the Central Women's Sniper Training School in 1943 in Podolsk, just outside Moscow. There, young women aged 18 to 26 underwent intensive training in long-range marksmanship, camouflage techniques, terrain navigation, and psychological preparation. The program was as demanding as any male equivalent, pushing recruits to their physical and mental limits. Those who graduated did not simply fill a gap. They became elite operatives, feared by the enemy and revered at home. Many would go on to etch their names into military history through acts of exceptional bravery and deadly precision. Among these formidable women was Lyudmila Pavlichenko, whose name became synonymous with deadly precision. Born in 1916 in Byelotservka, Ukraine, Pavlichenko was a university student in Kyiv when the war broke out. She was among the first to volunteer for service, initially facing resistance from recruiters who suggested she become a nurse. Determined to fight, she insisted on joining the infantry and was assigned to the Red Army's 25th Rifle Division as a sniper. Pavlichenko's prowess quickly became evident. During the defense of Odessa and later Sevastopol, she amassed an astonishing 309 confirmed kills, including 36 enemy snipers. Her skill earned her the nickname Lady Death and became a national hero. In 1942, after being wounded by mortar fire, Pavlichenko was withdrawn from combat and sent on a publicity tour to the United States and Canada, becoming the first Soviet citizen received by a U.S. president. She used this platform to advocate for the opening of a second front in Europe. After the war, Pavlichenko continued her studies and worked as a historian until she died in 1974. Another notable figure among Soviet female snipers was Rosa Shanina. Born in 1924 in the remote village of Yedma in the Arkhangelsk region of northern Russia. Raised in a large working-class family, Shanina developed a strong sense of duty and resilience from a young age. Her quiet rural upbringing gave little indication of the fierce warrior she would become. The trajectory of her life shifted dramatically in 1941, when her brother Mikhail was killed on the front lines. His death ignited a sense of patriotic resolve in Rosa, pushing her to take up arms and avenge her fallen sibling. Determined to contribute directly to the war effort, she volunteered for military service and was accepted in the prestigious Central Women's Sniper Training School, where she excelled academically and in the field. Upon graduating with honors, she was assigned to the 184th Rifle Division. Her skills with a rifle quickly distinguished her in battle. Shanina demonstrated not only incredible marksmanship, but also nerves of steel and tactical intelligence. She was credited with 59 confirmed kills, including 12 enemy snipers, a testament to her lethal precision. One of Shanina's signature techniques was the execution of doublets, 2 rapid consecutive kills, a rare and difficult feat that highlighted her calm demeanor and sharp reflexes under pressure. Her bravery and accomplishments caught the attention of Soviet war correspondents, and her story was widely publicized, transforming her into a national symbol of female fortitude and sacrifice. She was soon dubbed the Unseen Terror of East Prussia, a nickname whispered with dread among German soldiers. The story of Natalia Kovshova and Maria Polivanova is a profound testament to camaraderie, courage, and the ultimate sacrifice. Born in the early 1920s, both young women came of age during rising tension and eventual total war. They met while working at a research institute in Moscow, developing a bond that would carry them from the halls of science to the brutal front lines of battle. When Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union in 1941, both women felt a calling greater than themselves. Refusing to stay behind the lines, they volunteered for military service and were accepted into the Red Army. After undergoing rigorous sniper training, they were assigned together to the 528th Rifle Regiment, becoming not just comrades, but a tightly knit sniper-spotter duo. Kovshova and Polivanova operated on the Northwestern Front, where conditions were harsh and danger was ever present. In battle after battle, they proved their effectiveness as a team, one spotting the target while the other delivered the fatal shot. Their reputation grew as they racked up confirmed kills and contributed meaningfully to the Soviet resistance against the advancing Wehrmacht. But it was in August 1942, during an intense engagement near the village of Sutoki Byakovo, that their bond and bravery were immortalized. Surrounded by enemy forces and critically low on ammunition, the 2 young women chose not to surrender. Instead, in a final act of defiance and heroism, they pulled the pins on their grenades, sacrificing themselves while taking several enemy soldiers with them. Born in 1924 in Kazakhstan, Nina Lobkovskaya grew up in a time of political upheaval and growing tension in Europe. Her life changed forever in 1942 when her father, an intellectual and early supporter of the Soviet regime, was executed during one of Stalin's infamous purges. This personal tragedy sparked a fierce determination in the young Nina, fueling her decision to join the Red Army in the thick of World War II. At just 18 years old, she enrolled in the Central Women's Sniper Training School, where she endured intense physical and psychological training designed to prepare soldiers for the brutal conditions of the front. After graduating, Lobkovskaya was deployed to the 3rd Shock Army, a unit known for its involvement in some of the fiercest battles on the Eastern Front. She distinguished herself not only as a skilled sniper, with 89 confirmed kills to her name, but also as a leader. Rising through the ranks, she was eventually given command of an all-female sniper company, a rare and highly respected position for a woman at the time. Under her leadership, these women fought in some of the most pivotal engagements of the war, including the grueling Battle of Berlin, where their precision and tactical acumen proved critical in the Soviet advance. Lobkovskaya's bravery and contributions were recognized with several military honors, most notably the Order of the Red Banner. After the war, she chose a quieter life, turning to education and historical research. She studied history at Moscow State University and later worked as a lecturer, sharing her experiences with future generations. Olga Bordashevskaya was a university student in Odessa before the war. Upon the German invasion, she volunteered for the Red Army, initially serving as a nurse before attending the Central Women's Sniper Training School. Deployed to the front in 1944, Bordashevskaya quickly made her mark, achieving 108 confirmed kills, including 10 enemy snipers. Her dedication and skill earned her the Order of Glory 2nd Class. After the war, she remained active, participating in voyages to Antarctica and serving as the executive secretary of the Soviet Peace Committee. Bordashevskaya passed away in 2002. The stories of Ludmila Pavlichenko, Rosa Shanina, Natalia Kovshova, Maria Polivanova, Nina Lobkovskaya, and Olga Bordashevskaya are not just isolated tales of wartime heroism. They are chapters in a larger, often overlooked narrative. These women, drawn from villages, cities, classrooms, and research labs, stepped into a role society never envisioned for them. And once they did, they shattered every expectation. They were not symbols. They were soldiers. These female snipers endured some of the harshest conditions of World War II, from the freezing trenches of Stalingrad to the battered streets of Berlin. They operated with unwavering focus and lethal efficiency. But beyond their kill counts and commendations, what defined them was their resilience. They proved that courage knows no gender and that patriotism could transform young women into elite warriors. When the war ended, many faded quietly into civilian life, teaching, studying, raising families, or engaging in diplomacy. Some, like Pavlichenko and Bordashevskaya, carried their influence into public service. Others, like Shanina and the pair of Koshova and Polivanova, never lived to see peace, but their sacrifices were etched into Soviet lore and military history. Their presence on the battlefield disrupted traditional wartime dynamics. Deadly, unseen, patient, was psychologically unnerving. These women didn't just fight battles, they shifted perceptions. Today, in a world still grappling with gender roles in military service, their example stands as both inspiration and challenge. The Soviet female snipers of World War II proved that the capacity for bravery, strategy, and sacrifice is not bound by gender. They carried rifles instead of flags, wore camouflage instead of capes, but their legacy is no less heroic. So, the next time we think of the Second World War and the many who stood against tyranny, remember them not just as women in uniform, but as warriors who bore the weight of a nation and the burden of history. Deadly, precise, and unforgettable. Their aim was unerring, their purpose unwavering. Their story is finally told.